And this is a story about John. But some years ago, I got a call from this very successful entrepreneur. And he called me and said, hey, I'm having some issues with my business. I would like to see if you could help me. So I sat down with the entrepreneur. We're having a conversation. And John was telling me how successful he was in the past and how great his company was. But everything that he has built in the past, the systems, process, the team, it was not working. All the process that got him here was not allowing him to go to the next level. And you could hear the pain and the frustration he was having because he said, hey, I used to do this and it used to bring me all these clients and now it's not bringing me clients. Or I used to hire people with these capabilities and they were amazing and now they could not really get things done. And he was having all these doubt and really doubting himself if he was the right person leading the company. He really didn't know what to do. And he was having a really, really painful situation because he felt that everything he was doing was right and nothing was working. And because of all these things were not working, the company started having a lot of cash flow problems, a lot of rotation. People that have been in the company for years were leaving out of the blue and just saying, hey, I'm going to go to a different company. I'm going to go to my next level. And most importantly, the culture they have built, this amazing culture that everyone wants to work at, it kind of got toxic and people were having all these struggles and issues and fighting against team members. And it was very frustrating to go to this place of work. And when I started the conversation with John, John was feeling really bad because he felt he was very, very unique, that he's the one that made all this trouble. And I said, hey, you're seeing the problem through a very short lens. And if you widen it up, you're going to be able to see that it's very common for entrepreneurs, that sometimes things that were working 3 months, 6 months ago, today they're not working, or what got them to this stage will not take you to the rest or the next stage. Indeed, Marshall Goldsmith, a big mentor of mine, in his book, I think the title is perfect, and it says, what got you here will get you there. We believe that something that has worked in the past has to continue working, and not necessarily. The company changed, the culture changed, the tools, the systems in the world changed, the way we react. And of course, a lot of the things that were working in the past, they're not working today. And this, as the way I was seeing John's pain, I was reflecting a lot in my pain and my story and where I went through. My first company was super, super successful. We grew it significantly, thousands of employees, operations in several countries, and then were able to sell it. And then I did my second company. I was believing that I was an amazing entrepreneur, that it was going to be very easy for me to make my second company, and it was a big failure. And after having a great success and then a big failure, it obligated me to really make an analysis of what worked and what I did wrong the second time. And by the way, I had a really rough time because I lost all the money that I had built on the first one. And I gained a lot of weight. I was having a lot of issues with my wife and my kids. And I really got to challenge myself and really thinking and question myself if I was really an entrepreneur, if this was for me and all that. So I had probably 3 to 6 months that were very rough. And my conclusion coming after that was saying I need to figure out what works. But most importantly, I made it my life purpose to make sure it never happens again to any other entrepreneur. And this has really become my purpose in life, what I do and why I do what I do, and why I build precisely this methodology and this course. So the question that I really start asking myself, what really makes a great leader? And you being an entrepreneur, a CEO, or a leader, or a C-level executive, you're leading a company, you're leading a team through a change, through a process, through an escalation, or a place to be better. I really believe entrepreneurs are the engine that moves and improves the world. Every time we're doing something, you get an entrepreneur that says, hey, I could do this better, or there's this problem or this pain in the world, and I'm going to figure out how to do this better, how to do this simpler, how to do this more productive or easier, and just comes with new technology, new ways of thinking, and improves something. Or brings a new technology, and 5-10 years after, there's another entrepreneur with a new technology, a new way of seeing things, and improve it. So I really believe that most of the progress of the world or the impact of the world is really created by entrepreneurs. I'm originally from Mexico. I was born in Mexico, and we've been having crises every 6 years, and it's been a region that we have a lot of potential, and we haven't really been able to really grow and be a dominant region in the world. And I really believe it's because we don't build these great, amazing companies and entrepreneurs that really could impact the world, and we could not replicate this even more. So I made it my life purpose to how can we figure out what works and be able to help a lot of entrepreneurs be able to replicate that, build amazing companies so we could really move the world forward and improve our qualities of life. And in all my studies and analysis of how to really understand how to be a better leader, I realized that success is not just about luck. Luck is a very big part of it, believe me. But you could really create that luck. And one of the best chapters of business that I've ever read is by Jim Collins in his book, Great by Choice. And by the way, I think it's his best book and the most applicable book for us, the mid-market companies around the world. And he has a chapter called chapter 7, and it says Return on Luck. And the first time I read the chapter, I thought it was crazy. I didn't get it. But then I reread the chapter and I was like, oh my God, it's so good, because it proves that we all have good and bad luck in our life, in our businesses, in our school, everything. We have good and bad luck. The difference is how much return can you have on that luck. And that, I think, just stay on the luck. It's a really, really important part. But then I realized there's a systematical and replicable things that you could implement, that you could do in your business to be able to be more successful. So that obligates me to ask myself, if I'm a good leader, if I'm a good entrepreneur, if I'm a good CEO, if I'm the CEO of my company deserves at the moment, if I have the tools, the techniques, I know what exactly I need to do to be able to scale my company. And that has been a question and a subject that has been haunting me for the last 20 years.